And a very good evening to you. I am Griffin Epstein.
I'm Alex Dodd.
And we are here live from the Petaluma High School gym for the game of the season. It's the Petaluma Varsity Boys Basketball Trojans taking on the undefeated and first place Healdsburg Greyhounds. And Alex, this game is pivotal towards deciding who's going to win the SCL title.
Yeah, that's right, Griffin. You know, you said it. Trojans sitting at 4-1, Healdsburg at 5-0. This game is huge. If Healdsburg can, you know, pull off this win right now, they're going to put themselves in a great position to win league for the rest of the year.
And as you said, Healdsburg undefeated league 5-0, 13-5. Their most impressive victory of the season. They blew out Pioneer. That's the only blemish for the Trojans. They fell to Pioneer. Oh, that's interesting. Fell to Pioneer 51-47 a couple weeks ago. But Healdsburg went in and they blew out Pioneer 43-26. They have fantastic defense. They have a lot of size.
Yeah.
And they have a couple talented players that are going to give the Trojans issues.
Yeah, you know, Griffin, the size is crazy. You know, Trey Chapman at 6'7", he's going to be banging down low. He's going to give Jack Anderson a lot of problems. I would like to see Jack try and stretch the floor, take Chapman out of his comfort zone in the paint, and really make things happen outside there, you know.
And we're about 4 minutes from tip-off. This place is going to be rocking. The Trojans have not lost here at home all season long. Their only loss last year was to Annalee. How do the Trojans use this crowd to their advantage where they've really been dominant at home?
Yeah, you know, this crowd is really electric this year, and it's going to give the Trojans a huge edge. The Greyhounds haven't won in this gym since 2013, so, you know, I'm not sure how comfortable they'll be. You know, that inexperience, lack of winning in this gym combined with our crowd, I think it's going to give them a lot of problems.
And a lot of experience on this Trojan team. They returned 8 players from last year, but they've been through their struggles this year, 10-8. We mentioned they're 4-1 in league. They have the rough loss to Pioneer, but they had a really big victory on Tuesday to, yes, a depleted Annalee team, but a place they hadn't won since 2006, and they finally went on the road and got a big victory there.
Yeah, you know, the Trojans have played a really tough non-league schedule this year, and I think that's really helped them in league play. You know, they had that tough loss at Pioneer, but I think, you know, with all the experience they have, Jack Anderson, Devin Gottschall, Brendan O'Neill, you know, the list goes on. And, you know, all that experience with the tough schedule, you know, I think they're going to be ready for this game here tonight.
And there's been some scoring troubles for the Trojans when they face some of the top teams. They struggled scoring against Redwood, Cardinal Newman, Pioneer, even Annalee on Tuesday. They only put up 44 points. How do the Trojans really get confident offensively and play like they did last Thursday when they put 70 on Sonoma?
Yeah, well, you know, I think the key is to run the offense through the big man in the middle, Jack Anderson. He is really their best offensive player. You know, they have to get him the ball. You know, he can drive, he can shoot. If he drives, he's got to find the open guy on the edge. And the Trojans have to hit open threes, Griffin. If the Trojans don't hit those open threes, there's no way they're going to win here tonight.
Right. And that's been huge, and we've seen that. Robbie Izetta playing really well of late. He had a huge game against Sonoma, put up 12, and it feels like you talk about Jack Anderson, Devin Gottschall. That is the heart and soul of the Trojans. But that depth seems so important to the Trojans. Can they get points elsewhere and not rely on them?
Yeah, Robbie has been playing really well lately, you know. Junior. I believe he and Kenny are the only 2 juniors on the team,
only
if I'm
2
not
juniors
mistaken.
that play have significant playing time.
Right,
yeah.
Zach Coelho is also on there.
Right.
But, yeah, I think Robbie, you know, if Robbie hits his shots, you know, he has to play confident. I think if he trusts his shot, if he believes in himself, and I think he'll be a big key in this and have the Trojans winning.
For the Greyhounds, they are really hot. You're all good. They're really hot as well. Not only are they 5-0 in league, they have 6 straight, and they do have some really good victories, but they didn't test themselves as much in non-league play. They did play Cardinal Newman, and they played the Cardinals pretty tough. Only lost by 12 in that one. They beat Willits, Roseland Prep, Justin Sienna. They lost to Tamalpais, beat Rickett Valley, Roseland. They actually did lose to Pioneer in a tournament game, 54-51 earlier in the season. So that must show a mark of improvement that they really blew out the prospectors.
Yeah, they've been playing really, really well lately. You know, you said it. They've won 6 or 7 in a row, I believe. They're outscoring league opponents by an average of 17 points, which is a huge margin.
That's remarkable.
Huge margin.
So let's listen in to PA announcer Michael Bellerbolt for the starting lineups.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome to Healdsburg Greyhounds. Great freshman and JV game. And I'm sure we'll have just as great varsity game.
Is that Dean? No, who is that? What does it say?
Griffin Epstein. Well, that's not saying much.
Joe Buck. His call against the Vikings, though, he went really ham on that. I was excited. Usually it's just like, you know, I'm gonna go.
Not panning.
Nah, we're just showing that thing. What up, boy?
So there are your starting lineups for Healdsburg. They also have their fabulous freshman and Dylan Heyman, who we didn't mention as well. He's supposed to be special, but the lights are about to go off here. Special introduction for your Petaluma.
Here we go. This is cool.
This is remarkable.
Let's meet the starters for your Petaluma Trojans!
Luca's just holding the light.
A senior guard out of Great Elementary School, number 2, Jennifer Allen!
This is the Warriors music. This is the Warriors intro music, too.
J-Buddy, number 3, Jeff!
There we go!
A senior forward, number 11, Brandon Also a senior, he's a guard, number 14, Jed Boogie with a hoodie, A senior forward, he's the captain, number 35, David Alvio Gacho! Joe the coach, as John Baird in his 3rd season, assisted by John Baird, Steve Mark, and Nick Yapati.
Wow, this place is rocking. That was a lot of fun,
You
wasn't
said
it?
it, Griff. That was a great intro. I love it. Really getting the crowd hyped. I think they'll be a huge factor in
Really
this game.
a good addition that they've done that with the introductions of late. Actually, it came over from Annalee, who originally did that.
Oh, yeah.
A rare copy from Annalee, but let's listen into the national anthem now.
Once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets
wonderful rendition of the national anthem. And we are ready to go here.
Here we go, Griffin. It's tip-off and this crowd is already excited. I love it. I love it.
Game of the season. It was quite something when Annalee came in here last year. That was the game of the season. Didn't end up right that time for the Trojans, but they have almost everybody returned for that. The experience is on the Trojan side this time, isn't it?
Yeah, all 5 starters are seniors on Healdsburg. You got Heyman, the freshman sensation, obviously,
yes.
And you also got Trey Chapman, the big man in the middle. He's a junior, and so not as much experience as the Trojans, but I'll tell you what, a lot more size.
That is a big thing, and the Trojans haven't faced too many teams with size so far. Healdsburg lost 5 seniors from last year. Trojans won 2 out of 3 for the Greyhounds that were underway here.
Here we go.
Greyhounds with the tip. Last year, Trojans lost at Healdsburg 53-48 in league, won 60-53 in the return here at home, and then won in the semifinals of the SCL tournament game in overtime. And inside to the big man.
There's Chapman. That's going to be a really key defensive matchup. If Jack can try and stop Chapman, get him out of his comfort zone, I think that the Trojans have a chance in this one. But if he's getting what he wants, it's going to be tough.
And Trojans haven't faced someone with this size all season long in the junior Trey Chapman, and he leads Healdsburg in scoring. He has the talent as Anderson's 3 is off the mark. Trojans did have faced those similar size last year with Landon Cortman, who was on the Greyhounds, and they did a really good job quieting him in the second round. Credit to Joey Potts, though, and I don't know if Jack Anderson has that same level of skill as Potts.
Yeah, as we see Wolver with some nice defense here. Get the ball back up to Gotcha at the top. Here we go. He finds Jack. Is he going to shoot it? No. He drives. He puts it up, and he gets it to go. That was a great try by Anderson.
And Anderson's so versatile. That makes him so hard to defend, doesn't it?
He can really do it all, Griffin. I don't think the Trojans have anyone else like that. Gotcha is similar, though. He is similar.
So a little bit
There's
of press
Heyman.
by the Trojans. Heyman.
He airballs it the first one. Wow.
Quickly, and obviously the nerves have to be something. You're only a freshman. You've not played in anything like this in your career, have you?
I think this crowd is going to try and get in his head, take advantage of his inexperience.
And if you just joined us, the Trojans have not lost at home all season long. They're 4-0 here, and they only lost once all year long last year. That was to Annalee at home. So they're dominant. Anderson being aggressive, lost control of it.
There's Chapman. Chapman, big man in the middle. Stuff Jack right there. That's tough.
And this freshman might be the most talented freshman in all Sonoma County. He's something special. So it'll be a treat to watch tonight, but we'll see how he does in this raucous atmosphere.
There's Tomerlin. He misses. Ellis with the rebound.
Theo Tomerlin, the senior, off the mark. Trojans take it back the other way, 2-2 here. It is the most important game of the Trojans season. It's a 3-ball from Anderson off the mark. Offensive board, Gottschall ahead to the line for 2.
Jack has to keep taking those. He's 0 for 2 right now, but both of those shots were close.
Lucas. Yeah, and Anderson really looks very aggressive out there. He's had a couple struggles with his shot of late, but he looks confident out there.
Yeah, his stroke looks good.
And Gottschall will head to the line. Team captain for the Trojans sinks the first, averaging 10.5 points per game for the Trojans. And Gottschall's coming off a very rough outing against Annalee. He did not score it as the team captain. Wow. And there was the incident last Thursday against Sonoma. You wonder if that was in his head, but it feels like the Trojans have turned away from that now.
Right. Well, after Gottschall split his free throws, Vasquez brings it up, gets it to Heyman at the post. He tries to make a move on O'Neal, and that's no good. Here comes Ellis.
Brendan O'Neal, the heart and soul of the Trojans. Aggression by Ellis. Offensive board, Gottschall. He is fouled and will head to the line for 2 here. And even though the Trojans are down inside, they're pulling out some offensive boards early.
Yeah, and I think drawing fouls will also be very important in this game. The Trojans have to maintain their aggression down low if they want to have a chance.
Gottschall showing the mark of a team captain here early with a couple offensive boards and heading to the line.
Wow, Heyman already is being taken out. Guess the coach wasn't happy after those 2 bad shots right there.
Head coach Yasha Mokoram's been there a while for the Greyhounds, and they're looking for their first SCL title in 5 years. So it's been some time for them as well, and they know this is pivotal if they want to win the SCL title. These are the 2 favorites along with Piter.
Looks like
Wolbert almost stole it.
Looks like the Trojans are playing a full court press here.
Yeah, and don't actually see that a lot from the Trojans, but maybe trying to nerve the Greyhounds a little bit more.
Now the Greyhounds do have experience against this press. When they played Newman, Newman was doing that press the whole game.
And they struggled against that.
And Swan hits
it. The 3 from the senior, and we're tied at 5 here. Healdsburg is not going to shy away from this atmosphere because they are just so talented.
Anderson thought about pulling it there, but he swings it over to Ellis. He's looking, swings it back. Anderson, he drives left, he puts it up.
As Anderson lost it out of bounds, out on Healdsburg, and Ellis had such an outstanding start to the season. 24 points against Terra Linda, and he got 5 points against Annaling. Feels like maybe he's trying to get that confidence back that he had early in the year.
I think he was injured, if I'm not mistaken.
He did go through their injuries as well.
Still getting over those injuries. He's going to be.
Just feel like he lost his confidence as well. It is rejected, and they're going to call a late.
Chapman with the rejection right there.
A late foul called there on Chapman. I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one, Griff. I'll take it, but I mean, Greyhounds already have 3 fouls. They got to be careful. They do not want to get in foul trouble against this team. Both of the big men, Anderson and Gottschall, can really shoot free throws well.
And Trojans have been shooting, as you said, really well from the line this year. Big improvement from last year, and I think experience is a big part of that.
Yes, definitely.
So high-scoring start here. Appreciate
Wolbert.
Everyone tuning in. Boomer Kingsley is tuning in, and appreciate everyone that is leaving comments.
Boomer Kingsley, what a name.
Appreciate everyone leaving comments. There's so many comments today, I don't think we'll be able to get to all of them, but we will try to take a look.
The Greyhounds break the press, get it down to Chapman, and, you know, was that a foul? It was a foul on the Trojans.
How do you want they are going to call it a foul on the Trojans on Ellis? How are you going to defend Chapman tonight? What's the game plan for the Trojans to most effectively guard him?
As there's
Hubble
I would, if I were the Trojans, I would put Gottschall Anderson on him, but have the other big man kind of spy, right? So when he gets the ball in the post,
and then you
have to get help on him because Anderson and Gottschall cannot handle that 6-7 frame in the post.
And another foul on the Greyhounds, this one on Vasquez. And now the 4th on the Greyhounds, and this is a real concern. 7 in their bonus, and fouls don't reset to the first half.
Looks like the Trojans pulled away a little bit here, 35-7.
They've had a little bit of a scoreboard malfunction. We apologize. Bell says we're a pretty good duo.
Well, you know what? I agree, Bell. I agree. I think we got some great chemistry here, Griff.
Scoreboard has been fixed. 7-7 here, halfway through this 4th quarter. Greyhounds 5-0 undefeated in SCL. Trojans are 4-1. The winner will be Healdsburg will be in first place no matter what, as the Trojans pull down an offensive board but can't finish. Trojans trying to get back in first place though, and then Pioneer would also move into first, assuming they defeat Sonoma tonight. And this is the halfway mark of the SCL season.
Chapman working, Jack down low.
What defense?
And Jack with the great defense. That is what the Trojans have to do. They cannot let Chapman bang around in the post and get easy layups. You know, they got to play hard defense just like Anderson did just there.
Yeah, Anderson doesn't look afraid there. It's going to be a challenge against Chapman, but he knew that coming in, didn't he?
Chapman goes right back at him. Jack doesn't let him get there, and I believe it was a foul called on Anderson there. So Chapman will head to the line to shoot 2.
And you're seeing the strategy here by Healdsburg. Maybe they'll open up with a 3, but right now it is just throw it into Chapman, keep on going back to the well and see what you can get.
Yeah, you know, Chapman misses the first one, but I was just going to say, Griff, they do, you know, Chapman is a huge presence, but Desmond Swan is an excellent outside shooter, as well as Heyman. And so they really have the versatility to do both.
So we haven't seen that yet, but Healdsburg is absolutely going to need that. That zone defense by the Trojans. It's been tough for everyone. Even the likes of Newman and others have been issues. The Trojans only lost to Newman by 15 points, and offensively they struggled, but defensively held the Cardinals to only 30. Anderson from downtown. He is looking in the zone early here, isn't he?
There we go from Anderson. Now he's 1 of 3 on threes, but he's got to keep shooting. He has to take Chapman out of the paint and drag him out to the 3-point line.
And thrown away by Jack Sumner, who you mentioned in the open run of the top scores. The senior, 5 seniors on this Healdsburg team. Not as much experience as the Trojans, but
Trojans seem to be gaining a little bit of momentum here, you know. Chapman splits the free throws. Anderson hits a 3. Get a turnover right here. The crowd's into it. If the Trojans can, you know, get themselves a little bit of a lead right here, it could be valuable.
Wolbert had 10 against Danley on Tuesday. Can't hit, pulls down the offensive board, tip drill, and Chapman is just taller and bigger than anybody else, and pulls it down.
That was a tough shot from Wolbert.
And Wolbert, not much of a shooter there, but he had a big game against Danley. Really scrappy player, also starting varsity quarterback on the football team as well. So a lot of skill and a lot of leadership.
They left Swan open, and he hits it. Just like I said, Griffin,
yeah,
they have that versatility.
And I think it's obviously gonna be tough because the Trojans are gonna try to have that spy, and they're gonna be so distracted on Chapman, but you have to stick outside with those good outside shooters.
Yeah, the Greyhounds have a lot of options here. Gottschall gets it down low, and he's unable to finish, but the foul there on Sumner, or was it Swan? I'm not sure. Either way, Gottschall will head to the line for the 3rd time already.
Yeah, and 5 fouls now on the Greyhounds, and that's got to be a huge concern for Coach Makaram for the Greyhounds. And they haven't played a lot of close games as late, and they know this one's going to be tight, physical, and raucous, but the Trojans have been in a couple more battles this season, and they've lost all except the Annalee game was their first game. They had 5 games where they were down. It was within 5 or less.
Right.
And they had lost all of them before the Annalee game. So that was huge.
There we go. As Gottschall hits both, Greyhounds will bring it up, and I'm not really able to see what happened there.
A little bit obstructed.
It looks like
fans.
It looks like
tipped out by the
Trojans. The ball over.
And Healdsburg ball.
Yep.
And Trey Davis is in street clothes tonight with an injury, so that is one thing that the Trojans will miss. And unfortunate is he was shooting the 3 ball really well. Looked like he was developing.
Oh, Chapman got position on Jack there, and Anderson with a great defense, but there's a foul called. That's a shame. That was a great defensive play by Anderson, but
yeah,
it's not enough.
And what's
Mr. Sturt? Mr. Sturt?
Mr. Sturt.
Mr. Sturt.
Mr. Sturt.
David.
Mr. Sturt is obstructing our view a little bit right now.
Trying to get his attention. It seems he can't hear me.
Oh, well, we got a timeout.
Dean, if you're watching, can you give him a ring? I mean, come on.
And we got, we're going to be back on us here. We got 15 viewers tuned in, so appreciate everyone tuned in. Everyone wanted to tune in. And this is a very fun atmosphere here tonight, isn't it?
Great first 6 minutes here, back and forth game. Trojans, their offense seems a little bit, you know, it's working,
yeah,
but they have some things to work on. You know, they have to finish down low, and obviously getting to the line is a big part of that.
And Anderson's looked really good so far, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's been aggressive. He's been confident. You know, I think he knows he has to step up this game if the Trojans want to get this dub.
But Chapman on the other side, and maybe that's going to be the battle. Is it going to be Chapman, Anderson, who's better?
Yeah, you know, Chapman's definitely bigger, but I think he's stronger too. He's taller and he's bigger, you know. Here he is at the line, Trojan crowd getting loud.
Getting the Trojan fans right in his face, but he's not phased. Only a junior, but on the varsity team last year as well. So a lot of experience and skill that he developed. And the Greyhounds had a strong season last year. They finished 2nd in SCL, and they couldn't beat Annalee, but this year it feels like this is their time to win it, but it's the same for the Trojans. That's why this matchup is so important.
Yep. Well, Chapman hits both right there.
Kenny Alexander has entered, and he's going to try to use that
He's banging down low. Oh, man, he has that shot
And Chapman's just the more skilled player. I'm not sure that's what you want to see from Alexander.
That's not an optimal matchup. I'll say that. You know, he's a lot bigger. But as you saw there, Alexander could get position on Chapman, and if he can do that, you know, that really clears up the spacing on the floor, allows for cutters, some you know, 3-point shots. I think that'll be key too.
And the reason that Alexander is in, and this is a big one, 2 fouls on Jack Anderson. So we talked about how he needs to be careful there, and he's gone into foul trouble. Now you have Alexander trying to shut down Chapman. He's only a junior, and this is only his 5th game of the season. Transfer from Cardinal Newman, only eligible at the start of league play. I
will say this, though. Alexander definitely has a bigger frame than Anderson, and I think he might be able to, you know, clog up the paint a little more for Chapman and make it difficult.
And you saw the help defense that you talked about, O'Neal. A little bit of a spy, and then the block. Somehow Healdsburg still has it. 3 ball off the mark by Sumner.
Wolbert bringing it up the floor here. He's looking to push it, slows it down.
A 1-point deficit, back and forth. We've gone early here. Raucous atmosphere live from the PHS gym. It's Gottschall, Ellis, Wolbert, Alexander, and O'Neill, the 5 out there for the Trojans. Anderson leads the Trojans in scoring. Been cold so far. O'Neill so aggressive, and that was well off there.
That was not a very good offensive possession,
No,
Griffin. You had Gottschall, dribbling around the perimeter, not ideal.
And you can see Coach Bear is not happy about that so far. I haven't seen a lot of threes so far by the Trojans besides Anderson. Do they want to get Ellis a little bit more involved out there?
Yes, that's right. They're looking to get it at Chapman, I think, in the post. But for now, they'll stay swinging it. Gottschall with a nice seal on him.
16-second differential between shot clock and game clock here. Trojans trail I-1. It's been exciting and well played. They try to get it to Chapman. That was good defense by Alexander. Wolbert the other way. Waits, and now ahead to the line for 2. Well played by Alexander.
That was a nice play. And Wolbert, didn't get the finish, but he drew the foul. It'll do.
And it's going to be hard for Alexander in there. He doesn't have the height, but he does have that size. He's a lot more meatier than Chapman.
Yes, he is. I think he might be able to get lower and really, muscle his way in there.
Foul was on Swan, and Wolbert now heading to the line for 2, and the Trojans are looking like they might be making a living at the line tonight.
Yes, I think it must be that, at least half of their points have come out the charity stripe tonight. If they can keep that up, it's going to give them a great chance.
Shot clock turned off here. Should be the final possession for the Greyhounds. Trojans again applying the slight press. What an athletic play
Here he
from
comes
Justin
again.
Wolbert. And now the Trojans will hold it. Well, that's what you want in the press, don't you?
Yep, that's why the Trojans press. The last possession,
Ellis
drives, he gets there, and he finishes.
That was the confidence you want from Whitaker Ellis. That was what we saw early in the season. That will not count even if it goes. It's wide right, and at the end of 1 here, the score, Trojans 16, Healdsburg 13, and what a nice play by Justin Wolbert led to the Ellis lay-in.
Yes, that was a strong finish from the Trojans, just what you want to see. 2 turnovers in 2 consecutive possessions, a layup and 2 free throws. It's exactly what the Trojans are going to want to do for the rest of this game.
And we'll see if Healdsburg makes some adjustments to that press. We rarely seen the Trojans apply it, and most of the time we've seen other teams make adjustments, and they've just been able to get out of it. But obviously that would be huge here, as you see the cheerleaders with a nice cheer. It definitely, I think, the fans have affected this game early.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think so. Healdsburg is not accustomed to playing in environments like this. Such a big game, such a great home crowd. It's making things tough for the Greyhounds, no doubt.
And it's hard to run your offense, and so far offensively, it's been a lot of Trey Chapman for the Greyhounds. And we saw Swan with a 3, but how does Healdsburg get some more players involved there?
Well, I thought it was interesting. They took Heyman out with 7 minutes left in the quarter. I'm not sure why he's still on the bench right now, not even starting the second quarter. I think the coach is so fed up with him taking those 2 tough contested shots early in the game.
Right. And a freshman, this atmosphere so tough, as Gottschall's got it in the post, and he has looked really aggressive and motivated from his struggles early, and he's shown he has the capability to go off. You were there at that Cossack game. He went off for 24. He has the capability just to be unstoppable in the post.
Yeah, he's really tough to guard. He pretty much either scores or gets fouled, as you've seen. This is his 4th trip to the line tonight. He's really making moves.
And if Alexander can be big, then Chapman will have to stay on him, and Gottschall will be guarded by Sumner, who's a little bit smaller, and he's got the size advantage. Gottschall hits both, had 24 against Casa, and a 17-11 game, a double-double against Novato.
Griffin, number 24, Carl Hubble, has checked in for the Greyhounds. He's another big guy, and I think, they're gonna try and use him in the post too, a little Twin Towers situation, as Alexander with great defense once again.
And we saw that last year with Chapman and Cortman, and that was so tough for Healdsburg, and that gave the Trojans a lot of trouble, especially on the defensive end. Shot clock was down to 6, but the Greyhounds get a bailout, a late foul called. It'll be the 5th team foul here on the Trojans, who have a 5-point lead.
Fouls have come often and early in this game, Griffin, and I think if it gets into a game of free throw battles, the Trojans might have the edge just because they're big men You know, they can shoot the ball. They can shoot it from the stripe, from the three-point line. Gives them advantage.
Tomerlin from downtown, off the mark.
That's off fire.
Anderson was thrown, Alexander thrown to the ground by Chapman. No call there. But the Trojans pull down a rebound, and the Greyhounds have gone cold from the field here early.
Yeah, this is a matchup I'm really interested in. Brendan O'Neill versus Theo Tomerlin. Both are long, both are athletic, and both play very aggressively.
Yeah, really both players that play with the motion and the game on their sleeve, and you know they love it so much. O'Neill, team captain for the Trojans last year, and he does really have that aggressive nature. Over aggressive, but
that was a tough shot.
Yeah, sort of out of control there.
This offense is struggling without Anderson there to unclog things.
Tomerlin couldn't finish.
Oh, man. It's going to stay with the offense and the Greyhounds. Trojans did not like that call.
Yeah, that was a bang call there by the refs.
Heyman's checked back in here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he produces, and he's had some big games for Healdsburg, and they've been able to get that big victory over Piner. Heyman played fantastic, but maybe that helped with that they were able to get Chapman involved, and Piner doesn't have a lot of size.
Yep. Yeah, Heyman's been sensational this season. Multiple 25-point games, and that's very impressive for a freshman. He looks the part. You know, I'm excited to see him play here, how he matches up with O'Neill. It's going to be a tough defensive matchup for Heyman to deal with.
Healdsburg furious as Gottschall was pushing on Heyman. And they go in to Chapman, now guarded by Gottschall. Well, there's not much you can do about that, is there?
Help defense came, but you're right, it just does not enough to guard the big man Chapman. As Holmes, around the perimeter, he's pivoting.
Thank you.
Hits O'Neill in the corner. O'Neill drives right, pulls it back, swings it to Ellis, swings it to Gottschall in the corner. He's looking, pivot foot. He drives right, swings it back to Ellis.
Slow, methodical here, and they're akin to run down the shot clock, take the chance. Robert Holmes has entered the senior, and he has played really well. What a spin move there.
Wow! I did not expect that to go well. Holmes guarded by the big man Chapman, and he gets it to go.
And the bench got up, foul there on Gottschall.
Somner will go to the line.
Somner has the line, but Robert Holmes, he has really developed as a ball handler.
Yeah.
That was a sweet spin move.
That was a nice move, and you know he had one of those spin moves against Casa, shook Ian Cerruti out of his shoes, and he's pulling it out again tonight.
Yeah, played really well against Redwood, had 8, and had an affection last year, was out the entire time, but he is really an outstanding basketball player. Students again making so much noise.
Yes.
Sumner's off the market. That's a big part of free throws for the Trojans. They're going to get the quiet, but with the student section is literally overflowing with people, and it's going to be a little bit of a madhouse.
I think this crowd is messing with the minds of these Healdsburg free throw shooters. You know, I don't have the stats with me right now, but if I had to guess, I would guess the Trojans are shooting a higher percentage from the line.
And 16 fouls on both, so both teams will be on the bonus on their next foul.
And he misses both.
Chapman muscles down an offensive board. He went up and down, and they will call up and down. Yeah. It was close there between up and down and a foul. And you can see the Trojans are looking like they're just going to be extremely physical with Chapman.
They have to be careful to not get in foul trouble, though, because you really have to double Chapman. But the more bodies you have down there, the higher chance of committing a foul there is.
And Anderson has re-entered here. Alexander in as well. 3 ball is short. And
Holmes recovers it.
Good rebound there by Holmes. Robbie Izetta, we talked about playing well. They decided to go with Whitaker Ellis, and the starting lineup is playing well. But Izetta has been shooting the ball fantastic. He put 12 up against Sonoma last Thursday.
O'Neill,
just out of control there. And it looks
I think he might have been hit on his arm there. That shot did not look like it was going towards the basket at all.
It looks like the adrenaline on a couple offensive possessions has gone to the Trojans, where they just haven't gotten the best shots. Really good closing defense there, and Anderson really altered that shot, and then he tried to throw it to Alexander, who wasn't ready, and it went off him.
That was tough.
Ball with a fresh 35.
You see how Chapman affects the defense, though. You know, gets doubled. You know, then he kicks it out to whoever that was on the perimeter there, and then the Trojans were late getting there. Allowed an open lane for him to drive, and another foul.
Omerlin, who's shown some skill, head to the line for 2. Swan has re-entered for the Greyhounds. A 4-point lead. Appreciate Bell and Boomer Kinsley with the live chat, doing a great job. Kenny Alexander is getting a talk with the refs who have a tough task in this gym tonight, don't they?
I would not want to be a ref tonight. There has been a lot of contact, and there will continue to be a lot more, as Tomerlin is off the mark on his first free throw.
And we've seen the refs do a lot of talking to the players, and it's so physical out there because both these teams have so much size, and it's hard to dictate how much you want to dictate, as we see a line change here with the Trojans.
Yes, yes.
Whitaker Ellis re-enters. Izetta will stay in. Gottschall re-enters. And Wolbert
Anderson
back in.
Pulls down the board, and Izetta is bringing it up. He swings it to Gottschall.
Anderson leads the Trojans with boards on the season. There's been a big impact there, hasn't he? What a move by Anderson. He's so versatile. Oh. That was hard to finish over the size of Chapman.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Griffin.
Sorry.
Here's Heyman. We have not seen a lot from Heyman. I'm very surprised.
And right now it might just be a ploy out there just to try to make a little bit of a trap maybe as you do see him.
There he is.
Well,
spins a move.
Nope. Travel
called on Heyman, man.
I mean, you see the skill there, but it's just been a little bit too raw and a little bit unexperienced maybe.
And we talked about this before the game, you know, this crowd being as loud as it is. We said it might affect some of these more inexperienced players, and so far you've seen Heyman unable to make a field goal, just had a travel call. And there's Izetta, he drains the three.
That is absolutely huge. We talked about it at the Open. If they can get Ellis and Izetta open, that is going to open it so much inside, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. Hitting threes in this back and forth free throw battle will be very important.
Izetta driving on the floor, and then Heyman, that was interesting, just sort of chest bumped Gottschall on the way back. You wonder if this moment's getting to him, but a nice finish there, and the lead back down to 5.
There's Gottschall. Trojans spacing a little funky to start this possession, but looks like they're good. Jack's going to shoot this. He's going to make it.
Play.
Oh, and he almost made it.
But that was exactly what you want to see. That was put out perfectly. We got the great angle right
there. That was a
there.
great move by Izetta to get Anderson the ball wide open. He's taken 4 threes, only made 1, but I'll tell you, all 4 have been close, as that 3-point misses for the Greyhounds.
From Vasquez, the sophomore, hasn't done a whole lot out there, and Healdsburg is looking like they're starting to stretch the floor a little more.
Yes. They still have Chapman in the game, which is a little surprising.
Yeah,
has he been sitting? Has he sat at all?
And you wonder if he comes out as all. The Trojans, with Gottschall and Anderson, both went for 24 in that Casa game.
Oh, Heyman.
Neither had either player sit, as you have a foul called on.
Well, that was
Chapman.
that was a great move by Wolbert. Heyman getting a little precocious, you know, overstretched Wolbert, and Wolbert took it past him, and Heyman either had to foul or give up the 2 points.
And if the Trojans are hitting your threes and you get that depth and post play inside, it's going to be very hard to stay disciplined and keep in your spot on that zone D, especially for an experienced team like Healdsburg.
It's going to be tough.
And Healdsburg has played Newman, so there is. Guys, can you not stand right there, please? Thank you. There have been some. So Wolbert hits the first here, and at halftime we're going to have the senior winter court announced as well.
Oh, exciting! That's why these people are all over
they
here.
sort of crowded in. We apologize. They've knocked out our scoreboard, Cam. Colton, can you try to fix that? They've knocked it out. Can you fix it, please?
Greyhounds Swan on the
blue
perimeter.
Cable. What happened to the cable?
Gets it to Newmanville. Tomerlin, tough shot. That's not going to go.
Good defense by Ellis. Pulled down by Wolbert. And right now, a lot of tough shots by Healdsburg as we see timeout. Coach Bears, can you guys? Okay, fine.
Hey, Luca, just want to go back there?
We're back.
You guys want to hang out back there?
And
you guys want to hang out back there?
Luca to Bono here. And if they're actually fine there, we're going to have winter court. So the senior will be announced. Gottschall in a long conversation with the refs here. And this game is going to be really long. How did both teams just keep their cool? Because this game might just decide the SCL championship.
Yeah, well, I think the key for the Trojans is not getting too caught up in playing the Greyhounds game. They have to stretch the floor. They can't play the game in the post the way the Greyhounds want them to. The Greyhounds got the size. and some shooting. But you know what? I think with Chapman and Hubble, they're really going to want to play big. And I think the key for the Trojans.
Haven't seen much from Hubble yet. Trojans have done a good job on him because they do that with Chapman. The Trojans don't have that size, but with Hubble, because you can play Alexander, Gottschall, and Anderson, they don't have that.
Yeah, Alexander, Gottschall, and Anderson are going to really have to keep up the high intensity play.
Right.
If they're going to want to have a shot at stopping these big guys down low.
Does Healdsburg play Chapman the whole game? Because we've seen him out there the entire time.
You know,
that important?
I would not be surprised if they did. He seems to be the centerpiece of this first place Greyhounds team.
So we will see. Stay tuned for the winter. We'll have the freshman, sophomore, and juniors were announced, and then the senior winter court can't talk. Winner will be announced. Do you know the
Gavin?
Not sure. Jordan, who are the seniors up for winter court?
Got AJ,
Riley, AJ, Colton, and Justin, who's playing out there. I don't even know how that's going to work. That's a really great group. I don't know who you voted for. You don't need to reveal it. But if I was the senior, I'd have a hard time choosing between that. It's not on us right now, Riley, but nice try.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great group of guys. As here we go, 2:33 left in the half here. Trojans up by 6. If they can hold this lead in the next 2 minutes, they're going to have a big advantage heading into the second half.
That would be big for the momentum to head into the locker room with the league.
He's got to kick it.
Confidence is going to be so big there. Wolbert just couldn't contain it.
Wow.
But oh my goodness, he's showing some finish inside there.
That was a great finish by Wolbert. I think if the pass had been a little more accurate, he probably would have taken the 3. But instead, he got the drive and the basket.
And Wolbert not the biggest three-point shooter, so that might be where he wants to go. Guys, you need to scoot down. We can't see.
I can't see the game. You too, Jordan. You too.
Drive by Tomerlin. Outstanding defense by Wolbert. Boy, he is playing so well out there. And as the quarterback as well, he's showing that leadership and experience.
Yes, he is. And O'Neal thought about taking the 3 there, doesn't? And here Jack dials it up from downtown.
And Anderson's cooled down a little bit. How does he get back a little bit more confident here?
I think he just got to keep shooting. You know, he's been on varsity for a couple of years now. He has the experience. He has the stroke. He just can't lose his confidence.
Foul here on the Trojans. No offensive foul.
Wow. This has been a really nice stretch for the Trojans here. If they can keep it up for this last minute and a half, that'll be huge.
And it's worked. Anderson's going to take a seat now, but with you had Alexander, Gottschall, and Anderson with there, and that size seemed to give Chapman problems.
It did. You're right. I think it's tiring him out a little bit. You know, he's down there the whole time. Anderson, Alexander on the perimeter a little bit. There's Ellis pulls up. Oh,
little jumper, and he was off. Well
That's
off.
No good.
His hands on his knees, and he was automatic in that Terralinda game. I'm not sure I've seen a better game by any Trojan player on boys basketball over the last 2 years.
Wow.
He went for
24, right?
24 against Terralinda in that game, and it was remarkable. And we've seen a little bit of sparks of that confidence.
There's Wolbert, another turnover here.
And they hope to get it. Huge game for Wolbert, especially on the defensive end. The small forward just came back from an injury. It was his first game back against Annalee. He's been instrumental. We're under a minute here. It's an 8-point lead for the Trojans. Rocking atmosphere on this blackout night.
Alexander's going to dial it up. And he hits it. What a shot from Kenny Alexander. That was a huge shot, Griffin. Up by 9 with 35 seconds left. They're going to head into halftime with a comfortable lead.
11-point lead. How about some rage from the big men? That's going to be impossible to defend if you're the Greyhounds. Into Chapman, he is double-teamed. Alexander's really done a good job, the junior, and he just has to force it out to
Tomerland. That's going to be a travel. He turns it over. Trojans are going to get the last shot of this second quarter as they did in the first. Let's see if they can get another basket here to push this lead beyond 10.
Huge for this momentum, and this defense right now is stifling, isn't it?
It is stifling. The Trojans have a lot of athleticism on the floor with Wolbert and O'Neal and Ellis. They're really making things hard for the Greyhounds down low.
And they've shut down Chapman, and right now nowhere else to go. Down to 10 here. Trojans should hold for the last possession. O'Neal drives, pulls back out. 5 seconds left.
Wolbert's going to have to drive it.
Spectacular.
And he hits it. What a shot from Wolbert. Wow.
That's the way to finish the half, isn't it?
What a run from the Trojans. I think they went on a 5-0 run. Or no, 7-0 run. Which
an 11-2 run to finish the half. Defense just
Defense,
couldn't do
defense
anything.
leading to offense for the Trojans there. They got a lot of turnovers. Not very many easy baskets, but when you have more possessions than the other team, good things are going to happen.
Right, and of course the turnovers got an offensive boards, and that's the whole recipe. If you pull down those offensive boards, get the turnovers.
Yep.
What does Healdsburg need to do to get their offense going and get the momentum back?
I think they got to give it to Swan and Heyman on the perimeter because the Trojans have shown that they can handle Chapman down low, and so I think the Greyhounds have to pivot.
Yeah,
I'll put them on.
Okay.
I think the Greyhounds
Got
have to pivot
we got,
their strategy
Gavin Newell
a little
right
bit.
off set here
Gavin Newell.
in this pack atmosphere. Justin Wolbert, this is sort of amazing. Justin Wolbert in his jersey playing the game of his life tonight on the basketball court is walking over right beside us to see if he wins Winter Court. We're going to get a performance from the cheerleaders, so we're going to listen into that. Trojans lead by 13 here. Defense has been unstoppable. Wolbert huge in the second quarter. Anderson woke up the Trojans as we will have the see who the winner of the senior winter court with winter formal on Saturday, but let's listen into the cheerleaders. Well, they'll start in just a moment with the music. If you are a student winter formal, I know tickets are still on sale, so don't miss it. That's Saturday night, 7:30. A lot of experience going on. All right, here's the performance.
Nominees. First, we have Colton Moss, escorted by Madeline Gamlin. Next, we have Riley Wisman, escorted by Olivia Dedal. Now we have AJ Shaheen, escorted by Jordan Zajan. And last, we have Justin Wolbert, escorted by Luca DeBono. Drum roll, please. The winner is AJ Shaheen.
All right, that was AJ Shaheen taking the winter court winner. Hey, AJ, you want a quick interview since you're our winter court senior, I don't even know the official title. All right, you wanna get down right here? You wanna come over here, AJ? You gotta just or you wanna take a spot? You wanna? Or yeah. Here, AJ's gonna sit down next to me. He has just won the senior winter court king of the court for winter formal. He is the man of honor, a really prestigious honor. And AJ, how does this feel right now?
Oh, what a day! You know, I woke up this morning. I was eating my bowl of life cereal. I never thought I would get this far. You know. It's really good to be here with you and all my fans, my friends. God is always with us, you know. Just like you guys.
Did you ever anticipate that you would be at this moment, one of the highest honors you could get at this school?
I never anticipated this thing, man. You know, just growing up in the streets, you always were just trying to make it day to day, but here we are. You know, we made it. Glad to be here. Glad to know ya. Glad to see ya. Glad to be with you.
And couple more. You're a little bit of basketball fan, so you've been watching a little bit. Trojans are playing pretty well. What are your thoughts, AJ, on this first half? What are your thoughts on the first half?
First half, you know, started out pretty tight. Some tightness right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's going to come out on top? 31-18, all right? What team are we even playing? I don't know what
Healdsburg.
Healdsburg is a bunch of...
No, you're not allowed to say any of that. All right, that's it. Thank you, AJ. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
Peace out.
He is your winter court senior king. Congratulations to AJ Shaheen on the offer, and congratulations to all our other winners: Paul Leone, freshman, winter court winner; Gavin Newell, sophomore; and Martin Bernstein, junior. Congratulations to all of our winners. You actually could not probably hear AJ very well in that because his mic was down. So my apologies for that. We are about 8 minutes away, so we got a little bit more time. We might grab a few more interviews. This place is packed, so maybe someone else will want to stop by here with the Trojans leading by 13 points. What a first half it was. They methodically pulled away, but they went on a huge run late in that first half and defensively shutting down Trey Chapman. Right now, no answers offensively for Healdsburg, and that had to be one of the more impressive, especially defensively in that second quarter, performances for the Trojans.
It was amazing. I mean, Wolbert was really playing some athletic defense. We were stopping him down low, and I think the key was not committing too many fouls. We stopped committing fouls. We started forcing turnovers, and I think that was the really big key in that.
That's a good point about the fouls that you saw. Trojans were getting, Healdsburg was getting to the line a lot. You didn't see that pretty much last 4 minutes at all. So
yep.
maybe made some adjustments. Head coach Scott Bears has done a wonderful job. So thank you, Dave. So the Trojans seem like they made some adjustments really on Chapman, and it's totally worked.
It's totally worked, but like I said before, I really think Healdsburg is going to at least try and shift their strategy a little bit to the perimeter, because you know the Trojans do have some good athletes out there. You got Wolbert, O'Neal, Ellis. They can all defend well, but you know in the post just isn't working right now.
Right.
It's only one half left in this game. They got to find something that's going to work.
And maybe they need Heyman involved because he's a three-point shooter. You
Yep.
talked about Sumner, and we saw Swan just 1-3. Trojans guards have done a great job defensively as well, and it feels like they've been forced to have to go inside to Chapman.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Swan, I think they have to get him involved in the perimeter. He's got to start shooting threes if they're going to have a chance in this one. Definitely.
And he's, I believe, second on the Greyhounds in scoring. So,
Yes.
and I think just 3 points, maybe I think one at the line, so I think 5 points for
Yeah.
him. But he has really been pretty quiet, and I think it's been hard for a lot of players in this atmosphere to get going, especially offensively. You can always bring your defense on the road, but
Yeah.
offensively, we've seen that with the Trojans. It's hard to bring it on the road.
No doubt. I think this crowd is really playing a big factor in that. You know, they're wearing all black. They're loud tonight. And so it's a really rocking atmosphere. It's really messing with these Healdsburg heads, you know?
It's been a lot of fun. Think we're going to have a cheer here. Let's listen in to Luca De Bono.
I'm here to remind you guys that on the 29th, we're playing against Piner at home, and this will be a really fun game because before the game, ASB ordered 144 packs that powder paint stuff, and the team's all white. So before the game, we're gonna early, we're gonna go out to the softball field, throw the paint all over each other stuff. So we're white that you guys don't mind getting dirty and stuff. It's gonna be awesome. So I want to see all you guys here.
That's pretty interesting. So if you didn't hear that, they're going to throw white powder all over for the whiteout against Piner. And if the Trojans can win this, that's going to be a huge one. Remember, the Trojans lost to Piner when they played before.
If the Trojans can lock up this game and also take out Piner in that one, they also play Healdsburg again on February 13th. That's going to be a huge game as well.
And if the Trojans can get the victory, keep on doing what they're doing here, beat Piner, assuming Healdsburg beats Piner at home, which would seem pretty likely considering they dominated them at Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
That game at Healdsburg would be literally the SCL regular season championship game.
And that's probably going to be in Healdsburg, right?
That would be at Healdsburg. It's a Friday night. You mentioned the 9th. If that happened, we would try to go live for that because the Trojans would try to be winning their first SCL title since 1993. This is a huge first step, but obviously the Trojans are going to need to try to take it on the road. And offensively, we've seen it at home here. They've got great production up and down from everyone so far.
Yeah, definitely. They have a lot of depth. You know, that their starters can produce, but coming off the bench, Alexander is a really big advantage for them. I'm not sure how many other teams have a player of his caliber in a position so valuable as, you know, a power forward center coming off the bench.
Right.
And I think he's going to give the Trojans an advantage in their coming games. Because, you know, he's going to, as he gets, this is only what, his fifth game back?
Yeah,
you know?
Alexander, this is, they've played, this is their 6th league game, so a 6th game back.
Once he gets back in his rhythm fully, he's going to really help augment the Trojans'
He's going to be something, right, yep. And he's been huge here defensively down low, but they've gotten just a couple buckets from a few. We've seen Wolbert obviously been huge. Holmes had a bucket. Ellis hit a 3.
Izetta with a big 3,
Izetta had a huge 3. So it's been everyone just getting involved for them, and it's not that reliance on Anderson and Gottschall that has been an issue offensively.
That has been surprising to me. The Trojans have a 13-point lead at the half here, and Anderson only has 3 points, I think.
Yeah, Gottschall, a couple from the line as
Yeah.
well, but both are in single digits. But I think that's actually what the Trojans want, and they've seen some of their best games when they get less involved and you spread that wealth around because it really keeps the defense honest.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And if the Trojans get Anderson or Gottschall going in the second half, man, I'm not sure if the Greyhounds are going to have a chance.
So we will see. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of this one. We appreciate everyone that has tuned in. We've got really high viewership, some of the highest we've gotten all evening long. Olemi Lama has been in. We've seen Boomer Kingsley, Belleville Real.
Is Deanster in there?
I think I saw him on there as well. So we have a host of characters. We appreciate all the students, the community, the fans tuning in. And we do want to advise you to check out our live streams coming up tomorrow night. How about the Varsity girls basketball team?
Undefeated.
Yep.
In league. It's
They
amazing.
are 5-0, undefeated in league. Tomorrow they'll try to complete halfway through the SCL season. But Piner, who they lost to last year, is going to provide a good test in the gym. Will we be live here 7 p.m. The girls basketball team, big victory against Sonoma Valley, 40-30 last night. But they got their biggest victory of the season, a comeback victory over Annalee, who was the favorites coming in. They are now on the driver's seat to take home the SCL title.
I believe Kelsey Martin had a big game in that one, scoring 23, I think.
She was spectacular. And I mentioned Whitaker Ellis, best game on the boys basketball side.
Yeah.
That was the best game I've seen from any basketball player this season. Martin literally unstoppable, but the defense for the Trojans, they have used Jaden Chris similar to Anderson and Gottschall and just created a wall in that paint. They've been really effective, and we've actually seen the Trojans almost a little similar with that advantage in size.
Yep. The crowd fired up right there a few seconds ago for this second half.
So
Trojans.
don't miss our girls basketball live streams. We're about ready for tip-off here. This has been a fired up and fun crowd. We have, so the girls basketball live stream tomorrow night, 7 p.m. against Pioneer, and then they beat Healdsburg in overtime on the road in January. They'll be facing them next week on Tuesday. Our next Varsity boys basketball live stream a week from Monday. We mentioned the Pioneer game. That will be absolutely huge. So don't miss all our live streams coming up. You can also check out everything that we've done before on our YouTube channel. We're underway here. Start of the second half. Trojans lead by 13. We'll see what adjustments Coach Makaram has made for the Greyhounds, and I'm not sure they want that. Heyman shooting early there, but that wasn't a good shot.
Yeah, they're going right to Heyman, like I said. You know, if he can get going, it's going to be trouble for the Trojans, but right there, just off the mark.
O'Neal aggressive, and Heyman rejects him.
Wow. He is athletic. He's pretty tall, deceptively tall.
Especially for a freshman.
Yeah.
He really is a talent. We've seen some of the raw and inexperience.
Yeah.
But, man, he is going to be scary in a couple years as an upperclassman, isn't he?
That's exactly right. As he develops, learns how to – oh, that looks to be almost
very
a travel
close
there. Looks
yeah.
like Tomerlin caught himself there. Lucky.
And refs have called it a little bit more loosely after there were so many fouls early, and maybe just they didn't want to decide this game. There's the skill from Heyman.
There's Heyman.
Right around O'Neal here, and a little bit of a quiet lull has descended on the gym, and obviously such an exciting first half. How do the Trojans keep that intensity up?
Well, I think they just got to honestly hit threes. If they hit threes and force turnovers, this game will get out of hand for the Greyhounds pretty quick. Anderson, he gets fouled there. Drives hard to his right.
And just the drive there to the rack. That was a very aggressive play. And even though he struggled a little in the second, he clearly hasn't lost his confidence.
Yeah. Crowd giving him MVP chance. Maybe that'll get him going in the second half here. Or honestly, maybe these free throws, you know, you always hear free throws really help get shooters their stroke going, get their confidence back.
That'd be huge for Anderson. He was so big, especially early this season, really at points. Carried the Trojans at 16 in a victory over Napa, 17 in a loss to a good Emmanuel team, 24 against Costa, where he was virtually unstoppable. And boy, he has broken out to new levels. I know you're doing a story actually on that.
I am.
For Trojan Tribune. What do you think has been the difference of his acceleration?
I think it's been his attitude. I think he's really always had the physical tools. You know, in terms of physicality, he hasn't changed that much from last year to this year. But his attitude is really, he's really embraced a leadership role on this team. And as Heyman, the spin move, unable to finish.
That was some skills there, but go on about Anderson.
Yeah, and I just really think he's playing more aggressive this year, and that's his key. Playing confident, he believes in his ability, and as we've seen, it's paid off.
Yeah, it is. Anderson so vital, and you always need a breakout player as his three is off the mark. Almost pulled down an offensive board. Trode's a little cold here to open the half. And interesting, I wonder, Wolbert was not in the locker room for the first couple minutes because he was out with the winter court. So I wonder if that actually hurt his rhythm, considering he's playing so well as Toberlin breaks his ankles. Offensive board by Chapman, can't finish. Second chance finish and one.
I'm sorry, that was not a foul. Anderson went straight up there.
And he can see it with his hands. He's telling Coach Bears. Coach Bears is telling the refs. Yeah. Oh, look at head coach Scott Bears. He was holding his hands high in the air for a good 10 seconds, and now the ref wasn't too happy about it. He's going to get right into his face.
Yeah.
One team foul on both, and that's important here. Anderson now is third. 5,000, you're out. It'll keep him in, but he's got to play carefully now, doesn't he?
He has to, and that's going to be a problem for the Trojans. I think the Greyhounds are going to, you know, obviously they got Chapman down there low. It's going to be tough for the Trojans to stay out of foul trouble. The crowd gets loud for his Chapman's free throw there.
Yeah, and Greyhounds have really struggled from the line. That has been big tonight, hasn't it?
It has been big, but, you know, the offensive rebounds, that was a big one there by Heyman, who, you know, he's a shooter, but he has a lot of size, too, as you see right there.
Certainly something the Trojans can't do, considering they've been so good defensively. Yeah, such great defense by Anderson. And Chapman's starting to look a little frustrated. They kick it out to Ellis, but Trojans just try to stay calm as they will roll that shot clock and run their play.
Yeah, I think the Trojans might want to take their time. These high school quarters are not very long.
Nope.
You know, shot clock 33 seconds. That's half a minute. There's only 8 minutes in a game, you know.
Yep. Good ball movement here. Pull up J by Ellis. Couldn't hit. Trojans still looking for some points here. Only 2 points, and they were both from the line from Anderson. So still looking for a field goal here in this first half. Pulled out of the locker. Head coach Scott Bears has done such an outstanding job with these Trojans. This program was really so dormant, and we mentioned they haven't won SCL since 1993, but they just had back-to-back NCS appearances for the first time since 1991 and 1992 season.
Yeah, you're right. He's done a great job so far. You know, as you mentioned last year, had a tough loss to Annalee in the championship, but you know, back-to-back. If we make the SCL championship this year or win,
be big,
that's back-to-back appearances. That's more,
would be 3
than
straight
done.
SCL tournament championship appearances. They lost to Annalee after they beat Healdsburg in overtime in the semifinals last year, and they returned so many of those players. And I think they know this Healdsburg team that lost a lot more players. It's going to stay Greyhound ball here, but only 1 second left on the shot clock. And that was Swan who airballed that three. Boy, is the senior star struggling.
Yeah, he is struggling. You're right. Anderson checks out right there. That was tough.
Well,
Alexander just does not have the size to stop that inbound right there, and that's tough.
But that's got to be the last thing you can allow with 1 second left on the shot clock. Offensive foul on the screen. And right now the momentum just feels a little bit, hi Gavin, I think we're good right now, but thank you. Feels a little bit pointed towards the Greyhounds.
Yeah, you're right. And just looking at Heyman, Gottschall is our big man down low. I think Heyman's taller than him. That's going to be, it's a tough matchup for anyone on the Trojans to guard him.
So actually it will remain Trojan ball here. They switched it now on the Greyhounds, but only their first team foul. So they aren't having two issues. Gottschall just sky to pull that down, and then he will get to the line, and that's what he was doing in the first half.
Yeah, this is going to be, I want to say, his 5th trip to the line. And, that's a sizable amount more than any other Trojan player. So he's really carrying this load so far tonight.
Can you fix that camera, Kevin? Thank you. So now the third team foul on the Greyhounds. That's good, thank you. And Trojans have been key from the line, and right now that's about I think it's about a 6-7 point difference for the free throws tonight.
That's been a big difference. The Trojan crowd really helping us, helping Petaluma out tonight. Gottschall misses the second one. Chapman with the rebound.
So a 10-point lead here for the Trojans, approaching the halfway mark of this third quarter. This is going to be a good one. Trojans have led almost this entire game, courtesy of some fantastic defense and shutting down Trey Chapman. See another double there, and again, Healdsburg has to kick it out, and it just feels like they have to get that outside shooting involved.
Wow.
Well, that time it was just Chapman muscle.
Alexander couldn't step over to get Chapman. He probably would have been called for a foul right there, and he just had to let Chapman go by.
And head coach Scott Bear is not feeling confident enough to keep Anderson out there with 3, so it's relying on the junior Alexander to keep it, and now Alexander with an offensive foul, and he has had frustrating night, at least with the foul-wise.
Yeah, that's
timeout, head coach Scott Bears.
So what have you seen so far in this second half from the Trojans on the defensive end of the ball?
Well, I mean, I think Healdsburg has made some adjustments, and it's clear it's going to go through Chapman. That's their game plan here, but it just feels like they're mixing things up, changing up their plays, trying to get some new looks, and just hoping that Chapman can get more confident, maybe just trying to stretch the floor a little bit, even if they can't hit those threes.
Yeah, I think they're really trying to wear the Trojans down inside. As you said, Bears is not confident enough to keep Anderson out there with 3 fouls, and I think Alexander has at least 2.
Yep.
Gottschall probably has a couple, I'm not exactly sure, but if they keep grinding it down low, the Trojans could get in some serious foul trouble.
And I believe that's 3 on Alexander, so foul trouble could be a little bit of a concern here for the Trojan big man, and there isn't too much depth there. George Tynes, the junior, the only other big man left on the bench, and he doesn't get a lot of playing time. They wouldn't really want to put him in this big game. Coach Bears likes to stick with his experienced players in this big games. We saw it in the Raucous Egg Bowl game. He only played seniors that entire game. Didn't even put in Izetta, as T.O. Tomerlin has really struggled from downtown. But a big 3 here, and suddenly, Alex, we have a 5-point ball game.
Yeah, the Trojans league has shrunk by 8 points from 13 to 5 here. And they seem a little out of sorts on offense. Not really sure where to go. Do you see Alexander take a contested three and he hits it? What an answer from Alexander. That was a really big shot, Griffin.
And that is remarkable. Kenny Alexander has hit 2 threes tonight. What is the probability of the big man showing some range as the foul's on Ellis? He is furious. Gavin doesn't think it's a foul, and I think he's right, but
we should get Gavin out here reffing this. Yeah.
You could join us at a break if you'd like, Gavin, and we can talk with you.
Yeah, down.
How about Alexander? That three was huge there. Trojans needed something offensively. That's their first field goal of this third quarter.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Both of Alexander's threes have come at very good times. Where the momentum was kind of shifting to to Healdsburg, he's come up very big.
And remarkable for the junior. Transfer from Cardinal Newman. He transferred over during the offseason and then was ineligible because of that to play in the non-conference schedule. So his first game was the league opener against LC Allen on early January. So only a 6th game, but played on the JV team at Newman. And obviously that's such a good program, so he's developed a lot of good habits.
Oh, man. There's Hubble. He cannot make any moves on Gotcha. That was a good defense. Here comes Wolbert. Ellis.
And Gotcha has shut down him. What a drive!
Wow.
And that's some confidence there. Gotcha really struggling from the field, and he's been such good shooting all year, but he was not afraid there, was he?
That was a great drive by Gotcha. It seems like, oh, and there's a travel called on Healdsburg.
Tomerlin.
Seems the momentum is shifting right back to the Trojans after Alexander hit that big three.
And you wonder if head coach Mokaram for the Greyhounds wants a timeout here because they suddenly cut it to 5. It felt like things were going their way. And we've seen a quick turnaround here by the Trojans, trying to push it back out to a double-digit lead. O'Neal's pull-up is off the mark. Trojans have led by as much as 13. Greyhounds' biggest lead is only 3, and that was early in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think O'Neal, there he is. O'Neal, he has to go. Here he comes on the left side, puts it up, and he gets the foul called on Hubble. But as I was saying, I think O'Neal needs to become a bigger component of this Trojan offense because he is so athletic, he can shoot. If he's going, it's going to make it very stressful on this Healdsburg defense to try and contain the team.
And O'Neal leads the Trojans in steals. He just has a really good knack for passing lanes and finding where the ball is, and he hasn't contributed offensively, but I think the Trojans know that maybe some nights their role isn't going to be score, and they've accepted that.
Yes, as you said, all the Trojans have the ability to score, and there has to be some ebb and flow in this. They come to the full court press as Vasquez is doubled by O'Neal and Ellis, forced to call a timeout. As the lead is back up to 11 for the Trojans, as that little mini run by Healdsburg has been squashed out quickly.
And that Alexander three might be the one we remember. Suddenly the student section had quieted down. The lead was down to 5, but 2 threes by the big man Kenny Alexander. Wonder when's the last time he's hit 2 threes in a game of his life.
Oh, man, I cannot answer that, but can tell you what, he has not hit 2 threes as big as the ones he's hit tonight.
We're getting the student section going. I'm sorry, the camera's not on them. We'd also like to thank cameraman Daniel Forsman tonight as well. Producer Matthew Columba at the Varsity Boys soccer game as well, but thank him for his help. 11-point lead here for the Trojans, and now it feels like the Trojans could put this game away. How do they do that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the key for them is to just hit a few threes, because if they hit a few threes here, they can push that lead deeper into the double digits. And with only a quarter left, it's going to be very hard for the Greyhounds to mount a comeback that big.
And Anderson's still on the bench, but I do think that Coach Bears isn't going to put him in unless this game gets closer, because with that foul trouble, there's just no need, is there?
You're absolutely right. There's no need. As a double team comes again. On Tomerlin, Ellison O'Neal again almost steps out of bounds.
Somehow he got it away. And then they almost throw it away. Good running down by Sumner, and he stepped on the baseline. This press by the Trojans has clearly been worked on in practice. It's been huge.
That was amazing. The Greyhounds got double teamed, called a timeout. They inbound the ball in the same place, same double team, and they turn it over. I mean,
It's not smart by Healdsburg,
No.
but this half-court defense by the Trojans has been the best I have seen all
Stifling.
season long.
Somner
Steal
with
by
the
Somner,
Oh!
and Wahlberg almost
Oh.
got it right back. Up and down here, and Healdsburg, you wonder if they can stay calm and continue to drive. Tomerlin has played well in the second half, and he continues with a nice drive there. 16 viewers, we have appreciated everyone tuning in all alike. Feel free to like this video. If you subscribe to the channel, get an email whenever we go live, and you can check out all of our other videos on our YouTube channel, including all the other Varsity Boys basketball and Varsity Girls basketball games from this season. We have road coverage besides our live streams.
I'm not putting my shit in my head. Sorry, bro.
Shot clock and game clock. Walbert was open. Good zone defense. Now he's double teamed. Kicked it out to Alexander.
Oh, man.
3 threes might have been too much to ask for, but he's feeling good from there. What a steal. Walbert initiated that. Shot clock turned off, and Ellis will head the other way.
Wow.
O'Neal. Offensive. Nope. Did not get his
Defensive
feet
foul.
set. Thought there was a chance for the offensive foul on Vasquez there. He really wanted it, but they will not call it. Instead, O'Neal heads to the line for 2 more. Shooting foul and a chance to get this back up to double digits.
What a sequence right there. Alexander misses the 3. Sumner streaks down the court, loses control. Trojans come right back, a little sloppy. The ball finds O'Neal, and now he's at the line. I'm sure.
It's been interesting to see because Healdsburg made those adjustments. The Trojans had started to back off on that press because it felt like they didn't need it. But now that Healdsburg's got hot, they've started to use that press again, and it looked like it's worked from Coach Bears.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worked. They decided they needed to put some pressure to squash the Healdsburg run there, and you're right, it's definitely paid off.
So we have 10.6 left to go here in the third. Gavin, can you, okay, just not mess with it too much. Gavin is manning the comment section right now. Boomer Kinsley, I know, has been keeping that going all night long. So
if you have any tip of the day suggestions, just let him know.
Yeah, he's right there for you. O'Neal will miss both free throws, so the lead's still at 9 here. Shot clock turned off. Tomerlin will run down. Clock down to 5 now. Tomerlin with 7 points here in this third quarter. Vasquez a mile away, and he airballed it.
It actually looked like that shot had a chance to go in, actually, from this angle, but
wide left, actually.
It's an air ball.
So 40-31. Here comes the Trojan flag making its way out as the cheerleaders are going to have a performance there. And this spirit has been going all night long, hasn't it?
Yeah. Michael is really doing it all right here. Hey!
Michael Barabal.
He's getting in the face of the Healdsburg huddle. Aggressive move by Barabal.
Almost ran into the Greyhounds, a little close there, but everyone has feeled it. Michael's done a great job with ASB leading, really getting the spirit out at these boys' basketball games, and it's been so huge to their success as they've no losses so far, and Healdsburg has really looked like they have suffered just under all of this chaos and noise.
This gym is fired up right now, Griffin. I'll tell you that. And it doesn't look like this crowd has any intentions of quieting down. I think they're going to keep the pressure up until the final buzzer hits 0.
And this place is absolutely hopping.
Seems as though the Greyhound players are having a little bit of trouble communicating. It's a small gym, and this crowd is giving them some trouble.
Yep, it will get loud here. So much spirit, lots of banners and signs. It's been a blackout. The student section has been totally filled for this huge one, and it has been a pleasure. Robbie Izetta has re-entered. Jack Anderson with 3 fouls. Alexander feeling pretty good about himself right now, and he heads to the line. Oh, no, they're going to call it travel, and Coach Bear's yelling at him.
Yeah.
Alexander, maybe not a point guard. I think he had visions of that there.
I don't know if you want the guy, if you want number 23 barreling down the lane, but that was still a suspicious call. I don't know.
Another press here. Trojans have done a good job with all these steals and all these turnovers, but that time they'll be called for the foul. And now 5 team fouls. And Healdsburg right now, they got it down to 5. Now they're just hanging around here. They trail by 9. Trojans have gotten a lot colder in this second half. I wonder if Izetta could try to get going, hit a big 3 in his only shot, as we have almost another turnover. O'Neal has seemingly been in every passing lane tonight, hasn't he?
Did a little pirouette there, but wasn't able to come up with the steal. But now the shot clock is down to 17. Vasquez takes a 3, and that's
and he's been off all night, hasn't he?
Yeah. Wolbert, almost stepped out of bounds.
And just haven't seen much from that three-point shooting, and that feels like that's been a big key tonight as Izetta overshoots it. Offensive board, O'Neal.
O'Neal gets the offensive rebound and puts it right back up.
Yeah.
Impressive feat with both Hubble and Chapman out there.
And that air ball sometimes helps that it's easier to get that offensive board. You saw it there. Chapman has done nothing in this second half. Anderson comes over for the help in the block.
Wow.
And it will stay. Nope, Trojan ball. And let's talk about it. You got Alexander on him, and he's actually giving some trouble with some size because it's so hard to back in when he's actually bigger than him.
Yeah, his strong base really allows him to camp out in the restricted area there and keep Chapman out of there as Izetta floats it up. That's no good.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Oh, my. Offensive board, Izetta. Trojans swing it. Wolbert from downtown. That would have been huge. Trojans are battling. What an effort from O'Neal. Wolbert can't save it. But Brendan O'Neal is just putting his body, his life, and his soul out on the court tonight.
He's been playing like that for his whole career, but tonight he's really stepped it up a notch. He's in every passing lane. He's going for every rebound. He's really playing like the heart and soul of this team tonight.
That's what we've said. He, however, is going to be called for his fourth team foul, so he's going to have to take a seat, and that will mean that they'll go a little smaller with Ellis as Tomerlin. It's another three. That has been the only player to get any range outside the arc tonight for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, both Swan and Heyman have had no success out there on the perimeter, but as Jack takes, he gets it stolen by Somner, I believe.
And Vasquez will head the other way. Izetta hasn't got a lot of playing time, and they're going to call a ticky-tack foul there, and he will head for the line for two.
These refs have been a little more involved in this fourth quarter here.
Yep. And 6 team fouls now here on the Trojans. Greyhounds will be in the 1-and-1 bonus in the future. Only the second foul on Izetta, so he's not going to need to worry about here, though. And all these seniors for the Trojans, they've been so vital in building this program, and this could be that signature building block win that we remember that gets the Trojans their first SCL title since 1993. And what about the senior class building up?
Yeah, well, if any team can win the SCL title, it's this one.
Yep.
This Trojan core, Gottschall, Anderson, Ellis, O'Neal, they've been playing as a unit since they were 10 years old, and it's really allowed them to build a lot of chemistry. They know each other's play styles. They're comfortable playing with each other, and I think it's showing this year.
26 long years since the Trojans last won an SCL title. Neither of us were alive for that.
Wow.
It really is truly remarkable how long it has been, and they were in the doldrums, but Coach Bears has risen it to new levels. Devin Gottschall has risen the Trojans to new levels, but off the mark there. This lead is 6, and it is somehow, in some way, a 2-possession game in this fourth quarter. 3 ball is good. Watch out. Jack Sumner
with a huge 3.
Timeout, Coach Bears.
Man,
wow.
I think Coach Scott Bears is a call up a play for Alexander to shoot a 3 right here. Get the Trojans back in this game.
Well, that's been the recipe for field goals.
Yeah.
But this Trojan offense, it really hasn't been what they've wanted it in the second half. They just have 13 points in this entire second half.
I think there's not enough off-ball movement. You see, Gottschall or Ellis get it on the perimeter there. They get it. They're looking around. Players are moving a little bit, but on the weak side, they really got to set some screens, free some guys open, so they can hit these shots. Because
so you want just more ball movement, more engaged.
You need more off-ball movement because if you have ball movement, it's great, but these players are still going to be taking contested shots, which are not the kind of shots you want.
And Anderson and Gottschall, even though Chapman hasn't done anything offensively, they've been a lot quieter here. How do you want to see them maybe get more involved if no one else can step up?
I think they have to be more aggressive down low. As I said, you see Gottschall, Anderson on the perimeter. They're looking to shoot. They're looking to pass. I think they have to get the ball in the post and post up Hubble, and post up Chapman, because these refs are calling everything here tonight. And the Trojans are going to have to get to the line if they're going to want to keep this lead.
And Boomer Kinsley is right. It does look like playoff basketball out there. Both these teams are going to be in NCS. Trojans would love a home game for the first time since the 80s. That would be remarkable, as Wolbert will head to the line for that, not a shooting foul yet, just yet. Wolbert called for the foul. No, they are.
It is a shooting foul.
No, they did call it a shooting foul.
At the beginning of the possession there, though, I saw O'Neal and Anderson. There was a little miscommunication, not very good spacing. They're both in the corner, and O'Neal kind of ran into him as Wolbert misses that. That's not what you want to see if you're Coach Scott Barrows or this Trojan crowd.
And maybe that pressure, it feels like the Trojans have controlled this game and that they should just be able to close it out. But suddenly you look up the scoreboard and it's a one-possession game as we approach the halfway point, and that can definitely get on the nerves.
And there's a lot of size out there for
Healdsburg pulled down. Trojans have tried to counter with that. They've gone big as well. Wolbert, who's typically a small forward right now at the shooting guard position, along with Gottschall, Anderson, Ellis, and O'Neal, excuse me. And back to Chapman. Gottschall has been so good all night, whether it's on Chapman or Hubble.
Yeah, that was really good defense. I think Chapman got the shot he wanted, but just wasn't able to finish it. Anderson drives, he's gonna put it up, and that's good. That's what you want to see. They need to get Anderson going here, and if he can kind of have a little takeover here in these last 4 minutes, as the crowd is giving him MVP chance.
Yeah, trying to get him confident, and he pulled Chapman as Tomerlin's gonna lose it. They pulled Chapman outside there, and Anderson's more versatile, so he's gonna have that speed to drive by him.
Yeah, just like that. Anderson was just able to drive right by him, and then Tomerlin comes back and dribbles it off his foot out of bounds.
And Tomerlin is the reason Healdsburg is still in this game. They haven't got much from Heyman, haven't got much from Swan. Chapman's been shut down in the second half, but Tio Tomerlin with, by my count, I think about 17 points in this game.
Anderson again driving, and that's
blocked by Chapman. And fool me once.
Yeah.
It's all right, but fool me twice, then you're a fool. Chapman's no fool.
Yep, Chapman's no fool. He got off his mark that time. Anderson still got by him, but Chapman was ready. As you see, the offense is moving through Tomerlin. He passes it to no one. It looks like he was trying to hit
some miscommunication with Swan there.
He was trying to hit Swan in the corner there, but Swan was just coming up the wing, and that's a killer.
But
honestly.
You can tell right now this is all about Tio Tomerlin for Healdsburg and trying to get him involved as Ellis takes his seat, and Robert Holmes, who had one of the nicer spin moves of the night to the lay-in, will come in, the senior. Surprised actually haven't seen a little more of him, and that means the Trojans go even bigger with their size. So right now they're trying to go as big as possible, and we saw a lot of offensive boards in that first half, maybe a little more of that.
I think a little more of that, and I think a little more defensive presence too. Holmes really has a strong frame, and I think he can stifle this Greyhounds offense as he gets it on the perimeter here. But
inside to Wolbert and a travel.
That's rough.
That's not the shot for Justin Wolbert. He was in a forest of black jerseys there.
It looks like the pressure is getting to both teams a little bit here. Got a couple turnovers and a travel right there for Wolbert. And this game might come down to just who can
hold their nerves.
Who can overcome their nerves, yeah.
The Trojans have been big as three throws. Oh my goodness! Chapman with the throwdown. Hello.
Wow, that's big. Now I want to see Anderson come right back at him and throw a poster on Chapman.
And we've seen that before. You wonder if Anderson will try that in the Redwood game in the third place of the Rose City tourney. Anderson got junked down by the big man Elliot Diab.
Oh, he comes right back at him.
Beautiful lay-in. He threw it down on Elliot Diab in the Redwood game on the very next possession. That wasn't a throwdown yet. It was equally important, wasn't it?
He comes right back at Chapman, and O'Neal with the
another steal. The toilet ball falls for Holmes. What a big 4-point sequence. Brendan O'Neal, all these steals tonight. He has been so vital defensively.
Like you said, Holmes back in there for the defense. And it looks like it paid off right there as a three's attempted by Swan. That's
in and
no
out.
good.
Swan just can't get anything going. This place is electric right now. Students trying to get Trojans to the finish. Swan totally off balance. Trojans pull it down, and now back out to a 7-point lead. Trojans should wrench some clock. O'Neal instead will be called for a travel.
Oh, boy.
There. Well, it's quite a move, but he did, I believe, take a few extra steps there.
Coach Bears can't be happy with that one. You're up 6 with 1:30 left. I think you probably would have liked to see them hold on to the ball, slow it down a little bit right there, but O'Neal saw an opening.
Yeah.
Showed his athleticism, but unfortunately just didn't work out.
But what a remarkable sequence we saw there. That dunk got the lead down to 3. That's the closest it's been since the first quarter, and you think that would energize it. But Anderson, somehow he got that confidence back, and he was able to go a beautiful lay-in move from outside the post.
Yeah, it looked like that dunk on Chapman really fired it up. No one liked getting dunked on, and I think that probably fired him up a little bit. He comes back, gets the Trojans right back in this game, and after that Holmes layup, I'm not sure if this gym had been as loud as it was right there.
And honestly, I'm not sure I've heard it any louder than that was.
Yeah.
Trojans tried to win the SCL title last year, but a little bit too young. This year, you got the 7 seniors. Michael Barabald is fired up. Trojans trying to close this one out, and this whole student section is fired up. They know the implications. This team has been the talk of campus the last few days.
Yeah, the amount of Instagram posts that I've seen telling students to come to this game.
Yeah.
And I mean, the students showed out tonight. And like we've said time and time again, I think that's been a paramount key to success in this game. Keeping those Healdsburg players with inexperience, taking advantage of that. You know, at the free throw line, they haven't been as good as the Trojans.
That's been huge here. 7-point lead. Tomerlin open. How could you leave the best shooter on the Greyhounds in this half open? I don't know, but he can't hit. And O'Neal pulls down another board. He's been so scrappy tonight. Tomerlin called for the foul, and O'Neal's going to head to the line for a 1-and-1.
O'Neal's been everywhere tonight. He's fired up.
Yep.
Gonna shoot these 2 free throws. And this crowd is getting loud right now.
Yeah, this place has been rocking all night long. The blackout. We saw the winter court senior announced AJ Shaheen winning that. And it has been a special night, but it's only going to be one that's remembered if the Trojans can finish. And the nerves have gone to them a little bit. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Up to 19 viewers here live. 1 minute left to go here from the PHS gym. It's the de facto first place game. Petaluma Trojans, Healdsburg Greyhounds, 3-ball for the freshman Heyman off the mark. O'Neal another board. And then the steal. You got to take better care of the ball there. Heyman will finish.
Yeah, Heyman looks like he wants to take control here. It seems like he's played in spurts of confidence, if you know what I mean.
Definitely.
He kind of hides a little bit, sits and then
maybe,
wakes up, and then he wakes up and he
right.
takes 3 or 4 shots in a row, and if he can hit a few of those.
And I think as a freshman, he's just going to develop, and you're going to see that. And lucky for the Trojans, he hasn't been on all night, and they've done such a great job. But you talked about Swan. That was your #1 player besides Chapman to look at. They've done an exceptional job frustrating him, and the Greyhounds have just looked frustrated at points offensively.
I think O'Neal and Wolbert, their athleticism on the perimeter has really frustrated both Heyman and Swan. Even though Swan and Heyman are both, bigger, maybe a little longer, I think O'Neal and Wolbert have played a little more aggressive. They're up in their face, and they're making it tough to hit open shots.
And don't forget to stay tuned after the game. We will have interviews with some of the stars of the game. That should be a lot of fun. If the Trojans can call this out, that is not what you want to see from Kenny Alexander. Interesting decision to put the junior in. And Devin Gottschall, who took a quick seat, is out. 3-ball off the mark from Heyman. Offensive board is good.
Wow.
And the foul.
Wow. You know what? I am just not sure about that foul call. It looks like Alexander went straight up. Swan definitely initiated the contact there. That is not a foul.
And you just questioned the decision here by Coach Bears to put in Kenny Alexander, the junior with so little experience. Gottschall has 4, but that clock's so far down, and not used to this moment is Alexander.
Yeah, there's Swan. He makes the free throw to cut the lead to 2 with 41 seconds left. Looks like we've got a good one here coming down to the wire.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm starting to feel a little nervous about this one. 41 seconds left. You can see the fans starting to feel nervous. The students are going to be making noise here, but suddenly it looked like Healdsburg might have to play the foul game. Just some poor decisions there by the Trojans, and we talked about it in close games before that Annalee game. The Trojans had been either up 5 or below 5 in 6 games, and they had lost every single one. They had lost a lot of close games. Novato, Redwood, San Rafael was a crushing loss. Piner as well. So they have had a lot of close losses. they dealt with the moment really well, the hostile atmosphere in Annalee. How do they do it here?
Yeah, I think they just got to harness that experience. You know, they probably feel a little nervous because, you know, they're saying, oh my gosh, you know, it's coming down to the wire again. We haven't done so well in these situations. But I think they have to, you know, channel the experience and really take their own destiny, grab their own, you know, choose their own destiny. They gotta just go for it. They gotta stop playing sloppy, stop playing scared, and you know, they got all seniors on the court right now. Healdsburg has underclassmen.
The press again here. Trojans break it well, and now they need to run clock. You assume Healdsburg will still foul there. There was only a 5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. That's just not a lot of time, and the pressure is on for free throws. Whitaker Ellis, a great free throw shooter. Boomer Kinsley, Bell Villarreal, Honey Charlton all issuing their support for the Trojans here in this closing
I'm not
moments.
sure why the Greyhounds chose to foul there. It's a 1-and-1. If Ellis makes this,
but the key is the pressure,
man.
and there was a 5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. I like that decision from Coach Makarama, and timeout Greyhounds. I think that makes sense there. You put pressure at the line. You've watched a little film. You have some stats. You know who hasn't played as much. Ellis is a senior, but he's not Gottschall. He's not Anderson. He's not O'Neill. He doesn't have that same level of experience. And they couldn't afford to have the Trojans run down the clock all the way to 5 seconds. There wouldn't be enough time for a shot.
You know, you're right, Griffin. But, you know, right there, I mean, I guess it paid off. I mean, look, they got the ball with 25 seconds left, down 2 points. If you were the Greyhounds right now, would you go for the 3 or try and get an easy 2 right here?
I mean, it seems like there's no reason to go through a 3. The question is, how do you get Chapman involved? He just has that dunk, and that's it. The only way is they've really tried to go up over the top, over Anderson and Gottschall's length, but Chapman has been so frustrated. Can he get going here? Shot clock turned off. Here we go. Students are getting into it. They throw it into Heyman. Kick out.
Wow.
3-ball.
Oh, my God, he hit
Did they call the foul and the 3-ball?
They called a foul on that?
Yes, so they will get 3 throws,
gosh.
2 free throws with the 3-pointer, I believe. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we've been talking about Swan all night, and you know, he shows up in the biggest moment. Wow. That was amazing.
That is just shocking. Now will Swan miss some? No, he makes the first on this 1-and-1 bonus. There are, it says 35 team fouls. There are 18 fouls on the Trojans here. Both are good. Trojans have 1 timeout left, and they will use it. Healdsburg has no timeouts left.
What a turn of events, Griffin.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's hard to talk right now. There's 17.2 seconds left in this one. This is not over yet, but at this point, the Trojans need a 3.
They need a 3, but they have to be careful not to hit it too quick, because if they hit a 3, they tie it up. They tie it up with, say, 10 seconds left. Anything more than, you know, 5 seconds, you're giving Healdsburg a chance to run it back down the floor. Neither team has a timeout. It's going to be chaos if the Trojans hit a 3 here.
So where do you want the Trojans taking that 3 at 5 seconds, 10 seconds, because they have pulled down some offensive boards tonight?
That is a good point. That is a good point, but I assume Healdsburg will put in a lot of big men. I think Hubbard and Chapman will probably both be in there. And if I were the Trojans, I would get the ball out top, hold it for a few seconds, and then get a play going. I'm not sure what they're going to drop.
And who do you go here? Ellis can hit some 3s, but he just missed some 3 throws. Anderson can hit those 3s, but he's been cold.
I think, you see Swan missing those 3s. He comes up big.
Right.
I think Anderson's due for a big shot. I think he has the best combination of experience, shooting, and clutch factor. He had those big free throws against Annalee in one of their recent games. So.
Yeah, he did. As you said, he hit 2 free throws against Annalee that closed out that game in only a 2-point victory. And I believe here, so the 3 was hit by Healdsburg. That put them up by 1.
Why is Chapman at the line?
There was a little bit confused because they had the foul They had the foul while the three-point shot was taken. So I believe that they took the 2 free throws there, which was right by Swan. I don't understand why he's taking more free throws. The shot clock's at 17 seconds left.
How did we miss that? What is?
I'm not sure.
I am very confused.
We will try to check after the game and figure out why. The refs are still talking here. As far as I saw, that you had the foul call on the 3, which means you do get to take those free throws afterwards. I didn't see any technical foul or anything like that.
Well, they took the points off the board there.
Okay. So I think the issue is that because they had Swan at the line.
Right.
Swan hit the three-pointer.
Yeah.
Swan was not the one that was fouled.
Right.
Chapman was fouled. That is bizarre, but now Chapman has to hit these free throws. This is still only a 1-point lead.
This is who you want to have at the line if you're the Trojans.
Yep.
Big man, he has not been very good from 3, and he misses
Way
there.
off.
O'Neal with the board.
The shot
It looks
on
like,
the
they
shot
put
clock,
Izetta
they
in.
have give their timeout. Izetta's a good three-point shooter. 10 seconds left. Down to 8. Trojans need to go here. Izetta driving. They kick it out to Anderson. Anderson in the paint. No call. It won't go. Healdsburg has it down. A foul is called. I think they're going to put time left on the clock, but I think Healdsburg has won the game.
Wow. Wow. That's not the finish. That's not the finish you want there. Anderson taking a very tough
contested not a good shot.
Double teamed. But he had to take it.
And the scoreboard did say 1 timeout left, but I believe there were no timeouts left. And it was weird there with the free throws because they had the wrong player shooting the free throws.
Yeah.
But that was just not the play you wanted. Anderson was double teamed. That never had a chance.
Chaotic ending there. It looks like the Trojans had a little bit going on there. Izetta made a nice move to the left there, but
yeah,
just did not play
and
out the way.
The fans were calling for it. It didn't feel like anything was developing there, and you would call a timeout, but it just became into Anderson, and it was a matter if he was going to get a chance, and he didn't have.
So what I'm confused about, so Swan shot those 2 free throws,
right?
And then we called a time. But we called a timeout
right
after. Did we have a timeout there?
So the Trojans did not have a timeout there because they called the timeout anyways. It was really, unfortunately, messed up by the refs. I think that's the right call there to keep to take that timeout off. But because he had to go back and take 3 throws, that did obviously change the Trojans' game plan. So that might have been a little bit confusing.
Yeah, but it's like
them.
we went back in time. Swan hit those free throws. Call a timeout.
Then you take them off.
We take the points off with a new shooter.
So do you call that timeout again?
Shouldn't the Trojans not have to get out? Shouldn't the Trojans have another option?
Should they get another timeout?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
They didn't award it to them. On the other hand, the Trojans are obviously were happy that they got the free throws taken off the board, but they didn't get possession here. But in the end, as much as you're going to look at the last 10 seconds, and we will try to grab one interview maybe after, though this is going to be hard to talk to the players.
Yeah, yep. You're absolutely right.
It was not those last 20 seconds that cost the Trojans the game. It was those last 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A few turnovers there at the end. Travel call. That's not the way you want to close out this game. I mean, the Trojans had a double-digit lead for honestly most of the game.
Yep.
And
they were just in control.
They just squandered it. I think Tomerlin's play. Tomerlin's play in that last quarter really kept the Greyhounds afloat, and I guess once they just stayed in it, they just had the wherewithal to pull it off.
And the 3 we'll remember is by Swan. That wins the game for Healdsburg, but there were just some points. You had O'Neal go in on the travel where he could have just run more clock down.
Yep.
Alexander threw the ball away, then committed a foul and won.
Yep.
It was just not a good.
Sloppy.
It was unfortunate by Coach Bears because his policy had been all season long that in big moments you keep only your seniors in because you use that experience, and he didn't do that there, and that might have just cost the Trojans.
Yeah,
the game.
I'm not quite sure why Gotcha wasn't in there in those last few minutes.
I think he had 4 fouls, but it just maybe you hoped he
2
had more
minutes
size. It didn't make much sense.
There's 2 minutes left. He's the captain. In my opinion, he's got to be out there even with 4 fouls. I mean, in overtime, you can play Alexander.
Right.
You just have to. I mean, they had the lead. That's the thing. It's not like they were trying to come from behind.
And looking
know.
even in the bigger picture, the Trojans did not replicate the same thing offensively in that second half. They really did not play well offensively. Wolbert was a part of it. You saw Zeta get involved, but they really slowed Anderson and Gottschall. They got a couple buckets, but they were never dominant post players. And the offense never developed, and they panicked a little bit
I
late.
think a big part of that was they were playing a little more conservative. You know, once you have a double-digit lead like that after halftime, you say, okay, well now we can play, and we just kind of keep it conservative. You know, hold this lead. And when you start playing like that, you get out of your rhythm, and you allow your opponent to get in theirs. And I think that's what happened here tonight.
Yeah, really a crushing loss for the Trojans.
Yep.
They aren't eliminated from SCL play tonight, but their first league title since 1992, it looks very slim. What would have to happen is they're gonna need to beat Piner when they come in on Monday,
Yep.
or a week from Monday, and they should beat Piner if they can get their offense going and play a full game offensively, because that defense is hard to stop. And really, the defense played well tonight, and unfortunately, they hit those threes late. They really just made some bad choices late with some fouls and just did not play smart there.
Yeah, I'm scared for the next matchup against Healdsburg because I think the Trojans played very well tonight, and their defense played very well. But if Swan, you saw what he could do in the last shot there, hit the go-ahead three. But if he gets going the whole game, and Heyman really finds his rhythm, who did not have a good game tonight. If they both find their rhythm at all, it's going to be very difficult for the Trojans to win.
And that was big with the three-point shooters were mostly the entire game. Tomerlin got going. He kept the Greyhounds in the game. So the Trojans need Piner to beat Healdsburg, and then the Trojans are going to need to beat Piner when they come in here, and then they're going to have to go into Healdsburg and try to get revenge on the Greyhounds. It has to be one of the more crushing losses, I think, for the Trojans in a long time. And it's Healdsburg was fired up, and they know they are in complete control right now to win the FCL title, and it's been a long time for the Greyhounds as well.
Yeah, it's a tough loss, especially like we've been saying, they want to win SCL.
Yep.
This was their chance to really put themselves in there with Healdsburg to try and really compete for it. And they had the lead the whole game. Things looked like they were going well. It was loud. Healdsburg seemed a little shaken up, out of rhythm, and it just kind of fell apart.
And Healdsburg, credit to them, they just hung around because we talked about Trojans need to be able to just put this game away. They don't want to allow the nerves, and we saw the nerves in the misplays in those last 3-ish minutes there because they didn't put it away. Healdsburg slowly chipped away. They got it down to 3. Trojans got it back to 7, back down to 5, and it felt like they still had a chance if the Trojans let their nerves get to them. That's what happened.
Yeah. It's too bad. It's too bad the little sloppy play in the last few minutes really cost them. But like you said, credit to Healdsburg for sticking around and making an amazing comeback.
All right, stay right here. We are going to grab an interview, hopefully, with head coach Scott Bears in just a moment once they're out of the locker room. They might be in there, though. Actually, I see some coming out right now, so there might not be a lot to say right now. This is very tough. Final score,
49-48.
49-48, and still had a look there. Trojans fall overall on the season to 10-9, 4-2 in SCL. Healdsburg remains undefeated in SCL, 6-0, 14-5 overall. Do not forget that we will have our live stream tomorrow, and hopefully better news. The Varsity girls basketball team still undefeated in league play, and even if the boys can't get the league title, well, the girls are certainly in prime position. It would be for their first league title since 2013, 2014, so that could be a big one.
Yep, you're absolutely right. We got two basketball teams, and if one of them can win, I'm all for it.
We'll see. So don't miss that 7 p.m. next boys basketball live stream a week from Monday, and also on Tuesday night. We're going to grab an interview, and then we'll wrap it up. Did you find it?
It's right behind there.
Thank you so much. I will get it. All right, we're going to have a banner next live stream, too, which will be great. Thank you, Alex. You've done a great job. It was a pleasure,
for having me.
Pleasure to call it, and I think you provided a lot of great insight. We had a lot of people tuning in, so I think that was
awesome.
big for the night of the game.
Glad we could provide good analysis for these Trojan Left supporters.
Yep.
Trojan basketball fans.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay tuned. We are going to talk with head coach Scott Bears in just a moment, so stick right here.
All right. You want to hit him up?
Yeah, you can.
All right.
It's there's a.
I think we did pretty well until I don't know, I have to go back and watch the end and see.
You know what happened there at the end?
It was so confusing.
Well, I think what happened with the three throws is because the Healdsburg player hit the three, and then they called the foul right as he was hitting the three, so he gets to take the three throws. There should be three throws, but instead they had the three-point shooter take the three throws, and then I think afterwards either the scorer or the refs realized that, so then they had to have the post player for Healdsburg take them because that was who was fouled. So that's why they shot again.
That's exactly what happened.
But then they charged us for the timeout, which was I don't know if you call that. So it was weird.
No, but that's exactly what happened. The wrong guy shot the free throws, so they took them off the scoreboard, and the other guy did.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right. So that was a lot of fun. You did a great job. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely should. All right, see you later. Could you get on the headphones real quick, Daniel, as we're going to test audio.
Just this one?
No,
The headphones. My bad.
Testing. Oh, and then I need to get All right. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 4, 5, 6. You hear it? Sounds good? Louder? Okay. Is that better? No, okay, that's good. All right, we're going to try to get head coach Scott Bears before we go in just a moment. Make sure the framing's good and then press record. Yeah. Press record. Yeah. All right, we are here with head coach Scott Bears after certainly has to be one of the toughest losses of your coaching career. What went wrong in the end?
Composure was key in the last 4 minutes of the game, and that we really didn't maintain that. We had a game plan that was working for 3 periods of that basketball game, and then spurts in the fourth. And there was times when I think our emotions got the best of us, and maybe we weren't making the best decisions. And Healdsburg was able to capitalize on every single one of those breakdowns. And at the end of the day, it's the mentally strong teams that can stay composed, execute sets, take care of the little things such as rebounding and security of every possession that come out on top, and that was not us tonight. We just got to live with it.
And you guys did play very well for especially the first half and into the third quarter, especially defensively, really limited Chapman inside. How were you guys able to do that?
We were just throwing everything we had at him. We had one guy trying to deny him the pass, and when that ball did go over the top to him, we just tried to go blitz him from the backside and make every shot as difficult as possible. Big, strong kid. We were able to keep him uncomfortable for a long time, but for whatever happened, our breakdowns, he was able to get over the top on us.
Obviously, this wound is not going to go away probably for the rest of the season, but how do you have the team turn around and start to focus on the second half of the season? There's still a lot that this seniors can accomplish.
Well, yeah, and stranger things have happened. Now Healdsburg is by far in the driver's seat, undefeated so far in league. Piner's right behind him with one loss. This gives us our second, so somehow somebody would have to sneak up on Healdsburg and Piner, and we have to take care of business. We got to go 6-0 is really the only option. But all that aside, I was telling the guys, Coach John and I, we've been here for quite a while now. Put the both of us together, this would be our 6th year. And the first 3 years were not filled with the most success, but every day we still showed up to the gym ready to get better. So we wear this loss tonight. Probably won't be a whole lot of sleep, but we have no choice but to move on and prepare for the next one.
Thank you so much, Coach. Right, that was head coach Scott Bears after the Trojans fall tonight by 1 point. You can stop recording. 49-48. Want to appreciate everyone that tuned in. We had one of our higher viewerships for this huge game at about 17, 18 viewers all night long. You can watch this full replay on our YouTube channel. Check out all of our other stuff on our YouTube channel. Again, girls basketball game tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Thank you to Daniel Forza for running camera. Alex Dodd did a great job as my co-anchor. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.